Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the podcast, episode 18, PCT podcast, episode 18. Welcome. What's up, Brayson? I see you in the chat. It's just me.
It's the podcast.
It's just me, the original crew, Jake and I, dude. Just like the good old days, dude. It's been a minute. How have you been, Jake? How was your week?
It was a bottle of mixed emotions. We got the ending of Star Wars: The Clone Wars.
Very tragic.
Very tragic. Got the ending of Battlefront 2.
Also very tragic.
Very tragic. However, we also got a release date for Lego Star Wars, and basically confirmed a franchise built off Fallen Order. So Star Wars is still. I'm looking towards the future, man.
For better or worse.
Better
or worse. And yeah, we'll get into Star Wars news in a second here, but
it's a Star Wars podcast.
It might be a Star Wars podcast. No, it's not.
It's probably a Star Wars podcast. I'm a little tired right now. I've been getting like crappy sleep, so all right. I sound a little tired just because I am.
We'll try to make this a little pretty and concise. But I'm glad you're good, bro. Yeah. Miguel and Max aren't here just because they have stuff to do. So
that's how are you, man? How are you, man? You doing dumb stuff? What's happening?
Dude, I've been doing dumb stuff. So I this week it was all about The Last of Us, for me at least. You know, The Last of Us Part 2 got leaked.
Same.
I found out about the story stuff, and that was last week. But this week we got a new trailer for confirmed release date. And I was replaying the first one, the one that came out back in June of 2013. I was replaying it on grounded mode, which you have some history of that. And
God, that was a stupid story.
I completed the entire game on grounded mode. It took 20 plus hours, and I'm actually doing it again on New Game Plus. So I love torturing myself. Same. I love the torture. But yeah, that's pretty much been my week. I've been just really busy trying to keep stuff up, and I don't know, man. It's just really been busy. But Brayson said he's stayed up to 6 in the morning and then woke up at 9. That's honestly been my sleep schedule as well, man. I've been trying to sleep. I honestly haven't been able to sleep. I don't know if it's like insomnia or I'm just like stressed about something or whatever the case may be. But
yeah,
I have not been able to sleep, and it's like I don't know.
I've been playing some older games too. I mean, speaking like with Last of Us, going back and playing that, like I said, I've been going back through some of the old Assassin's Creed games. Replayed Assassin's Creed 2. I was like, dang, this game holds up.
On PC or what?
Xbox 360 game, but it was on Xbox One.
Got it.
Holds up. The graphics are horrible, but I mean, that was just the time. But I mean, man, story is still good. But yeah, I mean, been doing that. Started playing Jedi Fallen Order again because of the update that they brought out for May the 4th. For those who didn't hear, on May the 4th they updated Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order and added tons of new stuff, including like I kind of don't want to say it even though they kind of said it, but like a new appearance for him and a red lightsaber crystal, which they didn't have originally. They added some more starship skins or like appearances and things like that. But also it's like some new like wave battle stuff that's pretty cool. So I've been kind of playing through that. I'm kind of sad they didn't add more trophies for the things.
Yeah, I was expecting that too.
I was kind of hoping they were gonna add trophies, but I mean I already got 100%, so I don't really care. But so I've been playing that a little bit, replaying that. But I haven't been playing a lot of Battlefront. I mean, kind of been doing other stuff. I didn't want to get back on Battlefront and just kind of play Supremacy and stuff. I am sad that Clone Wars ended.
Yeah. I want to get on Battlefront, but I want to get back on that as well with you. I actually deleted it to play a couple other games. I've been grinding
Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy. Once I finish Last of Us.
Pokemon.
I hate you. Once I finish Last of Us, I started grinding 15, so hopefully I can finish that. Then I'll probably start 7 Remake here. And then yeah, but let's get back on the Star Wars news real quick, man. So
Pokemon.
it's not Pokemon, and this isn't Pokemon
Basically.
either. So it broke earlier this week that Taika Waititi is set to direct and co-write a new Star Wars feature film for theatrical release. So this isn't, a Disney Plus. He's not doing another. Well, he might direct another Mandalorian episode, but this isn't what that is. And
it is weird the way they phrased it, because they said like a future feature release, even though they've already they've already released the new era, the High Republic era. So I'm wondering if it's if they're gonna do another Star Wars if they're gonna do another Star Wars movie, because they say that the Skywalker saga's ended, but if you notice, they don't include Rogue One or Solo in the Skywalker saga.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if they're gonna keep doing spin-offs like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't say a High Republic era movie. Unless I might not have seen it,
Well,
but I didn't see a High Republic.
I could have sworn there was rumors that even before this whole High Republic thing, there was rumors that Rian Johnson was going to do his own trilogy. And I don't think it was supposed to be set in the High Republic. But
yeah.
Okay, I want to see how this rubs you. I want to see how this rubs you, because you love Star Wars. You love the episode that Taika Waititi directed for The Mandalorian. However, you're not a huge fan of Thor Ragnarok, which is another movie Taika Waititi directed. So, what's your thoughts on him directing a full film?
Okay.
And writing.
So I like Taika Waititi.
And writing.
I like Taika Waititi. I do. And the problem I have with Thor Ragnarok was for the character. I didn't like the way that they were making Thor, because they kind of made him into basically a big fart joke. That's the way I kind of saw it with Thor. And it's he was just dumb and stuff, and I was just I really don't care about this character anymore. But I like Taika Waititi. I'm totally okay with him doing stuff like that. I with this, as you can make a movie as funny, because I'm not gonna lie. I mean, Ragnarok was funny, and it had some good comedy in it, but it just wasn't my kind of comedy. But I could totally see it. I don't have a problem with it. Like you said, I enjoyed the episode that he did with Mandalorian.
Which episode was it again, if you remember?
If I remember, it's the one that isn't it one of the first ones?
Yeah, I think it was a second episode whenever they got to the place.
Yeah, I want to say it's when they discover. I mean, spoilers for Mandalorian if you haven't seen it already. I mean, it's been out for over
6 months. A month. Over 6 months.
Yeah. So it's and also, I mean, everyone knows about Baby Yoda, but it's it's the episode they discover the child. I'm pretty sure that's the episode, if I'm correct. I don't know if I am, but I'm pretty sure that's the episode.
Yeah.
Because he does the whole thing with the IG-11 droid.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love that episode. There's also the episode on the prison ship. I think he had something to do with that one as well. But no, that was the one that was done by the what's her name? The female director.
Oh yeah. Yeah, she was the first ever female to direct anything Star Wars.
And that one was really good. I like that one. But yeah, like I said, I like Taika Waititi. I didn't like the way they were going with Thor, and that was my only problem with Thor Ragnarok. But I can totally see Taika Waititi doing it, doing his own film, and I can already see it being comedic.
Yeah.
And Star Wars can do comedy. I mean, if you watch the original trilogy, it has funny parts, with R2-D2 and C-3PO, or with Han's character, because Han, he was the cool scoundrel character, but he was also kind of a comedic relief in a sense, as were C-3PO and R2. So you can make Star Wars funny, and the original trilogy has funny moments. I'd rather kiss a Wookiee, and he's like, I can arrange that.
It was more it was more witty comedy. It wasn't this is funny. This is funny.
It was clever.
Yeah.
That's the way I would put it with the original Star Wars trilogies, is that it was clever comedy, where it's you aren't you're not waiting for like a punchline.
Mm-hmm.
Not all comedy has a punchline, you know,
Yeah.
and that's what it was in the original trilogy. But yeah, I could totally see it. I He does have some comedy that like I'm just not a huge fan of, like the whole thing with the devil's anus or whatever it was
Mm-hmm.
in Thor Ragnarok, and they like kept saying it over and over again, and I'm just like, I get it, whatever, you
Um,
know, and like it's just weird.
Brayson said that he directed the season finale.
Was it the season finale?
It might have been. Then he. I think
I thought
he voiced IG. I know he voiced the
he
droid.
does, but I thought he had to do with the original ones as well, like the one of the beginning episodes.
Maybe, but
But the season finale is also awesome. So
yeah, dude, that was easily one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah,
I
that's because you hate Star Wars. You were just waiting for it to be
oh
done.
my god, no, it was actually a good episode. But comedy isn't a really big issue for me. I didn't mind Ragnarok's comedy for the most part. I thought, if anything, I thought it was kind of absurd that it was allowed in the MCU. I thought that was the most offsetting part of the comedy in that.
Yeah,
I was like, how is this even like a like this is a borderline, just add a couple F words. This is a borderline rated R movie, really it is.
yeah, because it did have that whole thing, like his ship was like an orgy ship.
Yeah, so the Grand
And they were going
Master,
in.
yeah,
Yeah,
the
and they
Grand
were
Master
going
had
into
like a
the
whole lot of
devil's
origin.
anus.
Yeah. I was like, they're really pulling this off. And I think that was like the most offsetting part about the comedy in that film. The thing is,
Yeah,
I feel like I haven't seen enough Taika Waititi, I feel like I haven't seen enough of his work.
I still haven't seen Jojo Rabbit.
That's
I
what
want to.
that's
I
what I
want
was
to
about
see
to
the
say.
movie
That's a PG-13 movie, a PG-13 comedy about Nazis.
about imaginary Hitler.
So I really do feel like I need to embrace myself in a lot more of his work and see the only
Yeah,
thing I've seen is Ragnarok and the couple episodes of Mandalorian that he might have done. That's
yeah.
it. I really need to see what he is capable of.
And if anything, I mean, not knowing what episode he did, I liked all the episodes. So I
Hmm.
mean, it seemed that his episode flowed very well with
Yeah.
everything else. So I mean, that was a good sign, I guess. But yeah, with Ragnarok, it wasn't so much the writing for the movie, because I I would have enjoyed that movie a little bit more. But I mean, like, I just didn't like that they made Thor really just this dumb character, and also it really. Okay, I'm gonna go off a little bit of a tangent. The Thor Ragnarok meant nothing to me when Infinity War came out,
Hmm.
because they were doing this whole thing about like, you're Thor, you don't need a hammer, your power is within you, and all this stuff, and Asgard's a people, and you risked everything to save Asgard, and then immediately it's like, we killed everyone on that ship,
Hmm.
and also now half the movie is going to be you getting your hammer back,
No,
and that annoyed me even more.
Stormbreaker.
Yeah, yeah, his axe hammer thing. So at that point, I was like, okay. And also, I mean, I'm not a huge Thor fan.
Hmm.
He's not my favorite Marvel hero, Thor.
Brayson
But
enjoyed Jojo Rabbit, so yeah, I definitely need to give it a watch.
yeah, I want to watch it. I want to watch it. I just haven't yet.
Yeah, same.
But yeah, I don't see a problem with it yet.
Hmm.
But yeah, Star Wars comedy, like
Yeah,
how it is Star Wars is a space opera, so most things are like, I think we had this whole conversation of things being a little bit more dramatic, and thing. Most of it is pretty serious.
hmm
It's pretty serious. Like, the original trilogy, it's not out there making a lot of jokes and, slapstick comedy basically. And, uh with the prequels, it's the same thing. There's not really a lot of jokes, but there are funny moments where, it's like,
yeah, like Jar
I
Jar.
I hate, yeah, like Jar Jar. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's your one joke really with was Jar Jar. He made a lot of jokes. His character was kind of like the comic relief
Hmm.
character. But I mean, like, most of the Star Wars comedy comes from, just interactions between two different people. So,
And not
like,
only that, but things that feel realistic and grounded. I think that's why I love
yeah,
Star Wars so much, especially the original trilogy, is the fact that a lot of the things in that movie, like Luke, whenever he's talking to his parents, especially his dad, about being a moisture farmer, I'm like, I could honestly see myself or someone I know in that situation. This feels so
Yeah,
real, yet I know it's not.
yeah. When he's talking to uh Aunt Brew and Uncle Owen, and he's like, "Hey, yeah, I don't, I want to go to the academy," but he's like,
Mhm.
"No, I need you here, I need you here," and he's, and in that Luke fashion, he's too nice, and he has to stay because he needs to help his family.
Mhm.
So it is very kind of centered in that realism. But yeah, like I was saying with comedy in Star Wars, it's mainly done through interactions between characters and dialogue, because
Mhm.
there isn't basically a setup for a joke in Star Wars.
I will
Like
say I
like I
found that a lot in the sequel trilogy. Like they said
well,
it, they
yeah,
set up the jokes.
sequel trilogy, and of course this, not trying to hop on that bandwagon of, oh, it's Disney, but it is very much,
Yeah.
it's a Disney movie. It's
Yeah.
a Star Wars movie, but it's a Disney movie. And the generation it's trying to amuse
Mhm.
isn't our generation.
It
It's not
isn't.
our generation, it's not our parents' generation. It's, the much younger
Mhm.
7, basically preteen, our younger teenage audience.
Mhm. 100%.
That's who it's going after, and honestly they need those jokes. It's just, for us it's like, oh god, that was a stupid, they fly now, they fly now, they
They
fly
fly
now,
now.
they fly
You
now.
were a spice
Yeah.
runner?
Oh god, that's probably my least favorite type of comedy, is repetitive comedy,
Mhm.
is where it's just like, they fly now, they fly now, they fly now. Or, wait, you were a spice runner? Yeah, I was a spice runner. Wait, you were a spice runner? Yeah, you were a spice runner. I hate
And you were a
stuff like that. It's
stormtrooper.
so annoying.
I
Yeah,
don't recall anyone in our theater laughing during those scenes either.
I I didn't.
But
I
I
remember
feel like
Chad being asleep.
I feel like if we were to have went to like a Saturday morning matinee, everyone would have been laughing their socks off because they would have obviously had their kids.
Oh yeah.
You're not
I
going to
mean,
bring.
it's a thing with like the Emoji Movie. I mean, like parents. I remember like there was tons of stuff about like, parents having to take their kids to the Emoji Movie. Like kids loved it, but like they were just
Parents were disappointed.
parents were like banging their heads on the wall trying to just pass out. But yeah, like with the new generation of that kind of movie, you have to set up these jokes, especially if, I mean, again, if you're a younger kid, you
Mhm.
kind of need that setup so it's a joke.
Mhm.
Because I mean, being honest, myself, when I watched Star Wars when I was super young, a lot of those jokes went right over my head because there was no setup. It was just dialogue that I was interested in.
Yeah.
It wasn't really a joke. But watching it now, it's like, when they say like things about, or like that scene in the Millennium Falcon when Leia and Han are about to kiss and C-3PO walks in and interrupts it.
Mhm.
Um, and he's like, angry. At the time, I'm like, okay,
But now we're
whatever.
like, oh, he got cocked block.
Yeah, basically, we're like,
Yeah.
funny. But, I mean, I guess you could even say with like kind of Rogue One. Rogue One had pretty much like for K2SO, he was a
Dude,
kind of set up a
K2SO
joke.
was. I'm not gonna lie, dude. Say what you want.
K2SO did
K2SO
have
was.
funny.
He was a
Well, that's
funny
because
character.
it's because his jokes were in dialogue. It wasn't him, like, like, it's hard to describe, but like all his jokes are based off what other people say.
Mhm.
So when he says we're leaving and he goes, "Wait, you're letting her keep the gun?" He's like, "Yes, we're going," and he's like,
There's a high
that's a
prob.
bad
Yeah,
idea.
there's a high
Yeah,
probability of her using it against you.
it's very high.
Just
It's like that. It's that droid plus that dialogue that is just pretty funny. But like with the new trilogy, it's just like there's jokes that for me just like I have to like think a second, go, wait, was that supposed to be funny? Was that
Mhm.
supposed to be a
Yeah.
a joke?
Mhm.
But yeah,
So yeah,
long story short, I'd be okay with Taika
well,
Waititi.
bottom, yeah,
As
I think. Okay, so here's my thing. I think that his movie's gonna be comedy. I don't think it will include a lot of lightsabers if it includes lightsabers at all. And I also think it's going to take
yeah,
place.
I don't feel him taking a Jedi route.
Yeah, I feel like this is going to be what Solo should have been.
Yeah, I could see that.
I
I
really
could definitely
do.
see this being about
I
like a smuggler
really,
character.
yeah, I really, or a droid. I really feel like this is what Solo should have been, and I hope Disney doesn't like restrict him or be like, listen,
Mm-hmm.
you got to make this for this specific audience. You got to make this, you know.
I feel like they can't. I mean, what happened after? I mean, uh, Thor Ragnarok. I feel like they
Exactly.
don't have any bars on him.
Exactly, which I think Thor Ragnarok's good for him making a Star Wars movie because he already has a history with Disney. He's already, I don't know how much money Thor Ragnarok made, but I know it, you know, it racked up quite a good amount.
I mean, yeah, made a Marvel's worth. You know how they
Yeah,
usually
yeah,
do.
5 billion.
Yeah.
So no, but I do have a lot of faith in this movie. If I could see this being set during any era, I'd say Empire.
Yeah, I would say because how they keep saying, you know, we're done with the Skywalker saga, we're done with the Skywalker saga, but I still think they're going to be keeping to cut off an era that has so much more to be said.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's still a lot of time that's happened. The only problem with that is that I hope that when they do stuff like that and they're like, oh, we want to introduce another thing that happened during the Empire time, you know, during the Age of the Rebellion,
Mm-hmm.
they they
Jake. All right. Well, I can't hear Jake anymore. Let's see here. Jake, you there? Hold on. I honestly can't hear him. This is kind of weird. But yeah, I don't know. I really do think that Star Wars would, you know, at least this Taika Waititi movie would work really well in the age of, you know, in the age of rebellion during the Empire and whatnot, just because Taika Waititi already has a history with you know, that era through the Mandalorian, and I feel like even then he, like, even if this is a movie that he's making, um he could really work off what the Mandalorian did in the first season. I feel like this could be, you know, Mandalorian's spinoff in some way, shape, or form. And he could even bring his droid over. He could, you know, not only write and direct, but, um, you know, bring IG-88. Is that, I don't even know his droid, but bring that droid over, and, you know, just build the world on something more than just a new concept. You know, it's all about world building and
yeah.
expanding. There you are. Welcome back, buddy.
Yeah. So I was on a whole speech and then I was like, I stopped talking and then you didn't say anything. I was like, hello,
Yeah,
hello.
I couldn't hear you, so I left and joined back, and you still couldn't hear you. But all right, so we're good. So yeah, I'm excited for it. Taika Waititi hasn't disappointed me yet, so I'm not tripping about it.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you want to get the rest of the Star Wars stuff out of the way before we?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Okay, so let's see here. Oh, one thing that came out today actually that I kind of wanted to talk about was uh Tamira. I forget how to say his name. Tamara Morrison.
Mm-hmm.
The person who plays Jango Fett in the prequel trilogy will be coming back in as Boba Fett during The Mandalorian. Which
he played Jango in the prequel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Tamara Morrison, I think is that how you say his name.
Got it.
He played Jango Fett during the prequel era, and Boba Fett was a clone of Jango Fett, obviously. Mm-hmm. So he's going to be playing Boba Fett. This is pretty interesting because they've basically confirmed that they have confirmed that Boba Fett and Ahsoka will both be in Mandalorian.
That sounds awesome.
I'm kind of excited.
I'm kind of surprised they just gave it away like that.
I feel like they were trying to get out stuff, especially with like leak culture starting to tip back in, because no one's doing anything except this.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
That they've basically just
let's beat them to it. You know.
Yeah, because I mean that's what a Telltale. The Lego people. The Lego people.
Oh, okay.
I always forget because there's like Telltale and then there's Telltale.
No, the Lego people is Traveler's Tale.
Traveler's Tale. That's it. You're a smart cookie.
I'm a smart cookie.
Traveler's Tale. they who make the Lego games, they were like scared waiting for to release the release date for the new Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga thing.
Mhm.
They did it on May 4th, and they were like glad we got this out in time or whatever.
Mhm.
Uh,
It's probably a nod to
but
The
yeah,
Last of Us, honestly.
honestly, yeah. But yeah, tomorrow, Tamara Morrison, however you say his name, will be in Mandalorian season 2 as Boba Fett.
When does
So
Mandalorian take place again? I know it's
So that's the interesting part. That actually is really interesting because it takes place after Return of the Jedi, and if you've
okay.
seen Return of the Jedi, spoilers here, Boba Fett gets knocked into that Sarlacc, and
Mhm.
there has been tons and tons of different, comics, books, uh, comic books, things like that where Jango Fett or Boba Fett has come out of the Sarlacc. Either he fought his way out, or he was spat out. Things like that of him surviving the Sarlacc pit, but it was never actually like really made canon.
Mhm.
This will be the canon, you know, uh, you know, thing of what happened to Boba Fett. So it would be interesting to see him in Mandalorian, especially after what they've basically confirmed and they kind of got rid of was that the Fets were Mandalorians and during like the old stuff, but now the Boba Fett and Jango Fett aren't actually Mandalorian.
Mhm.
Jango Fett stole Mandalorian armor, and so did Boba Fett. So I'm wondering how that's gonna be introduced. I'm wondering if that's gonna be like a whole thing with them, like kind of disrespectful to the Mandalorians as having your armor stolen, basically.
Maybe he won't even show up in like I just saw about this while you're talking. Maybe his scenes will be flashbacks.
Mm. Well, there was the whole thing at the end of like there was a scene in the basically the end of Mandalorian where you see this foot like this armored boot hit the ground,
Mhm.
but it's like super dark, and a lot of people thought that was Jango Fett, or I mean Boba Fett.
Mhm.
So I'm wondering if that was Boba Fett and that they're finally like just basically teasing it now. But that would be interesting. I am kind of glad they cast this dude, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
I I'm glad in like a certain way because he's not like I like D. Bradley Baker from the Clone Wars better as the clones and all that stuff, but I feel like this will be better for the live action because this will if I'm guessing the only reason they cast him as Boba Fett is because they're gonna have him take off his helmet.
Mhm.
And if they do, that would be pretty interesting because no one's actually ever seen Boba Fett without his helmet, even though everyone knows what he looks like without his helmet because he's a
Mhm.
clone. It's like one of those interesting things where it's like he never takes his helmet off, but we all know what he looks like underneath. It's like an interesting thing, but I'm excited. I'm even more excited for the idea that Ahsoka and Boba Fett could meet. That sounds pretty cool. That could happen.
So how old
Um,
will how old
Boba Fett.
Boba Fett and Ahsoka?
Ahsoka will be, you know, she'll be, I would guess around 40.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, she'd be getting pretty old by this point. Maybe
And
not 40, maybe a little bit older,
mhm.
because yeah, she'll be getting a little bit older. Boba Fett, uh, he'll be a little bit younger actually
Mhm.
than Ahsoka. Yeah, he'll be a little bit younger than Ahsoka, but they'll both be at this point older.
Mhm. How many
Um,
how many years does episode 4 and or what's the time gap between episode 3 and 4?
Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope,
Mhm.
I believe 15 years.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
15 years there, but then it's also like the trilogy,
Yeah.
the original trilogy is like 5 years, I think,
Mhm.
and then this is after that. So I mean, you're looking at 20 plus years,
Mm-hmm.
and Ahsoka at the time was already, you know, I think she was 14. So
And by the end of
yeah,
episode
about
3, Boba Fett was probably what, like 15?
by the end of episode 3, he was probably a little bit older than 15.
Really?
Yeah, they're not too far away, I don't believe,
Okay.
but they'll both be around probably 30, 40, I think
Mm-hmm.
is
All
the
right, I'm
age.
just trying to see like how versatile this dude's still going to be. like,
No,
like,
I
like,
mean
like
I'm
if
sure he'll still be able to. I mean, because like Jango Fett was not pretty old, but I mean he was old. He was 30 by that time as well,
mm,
and he was out there jetpack flying and flamethrower and all such.
it's gonna be interesting without a doubt.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see who else Disney announces is going to be in this season.
I know.
We should be getting a trailer relatively soon.
There was a rumor that went around that a lot of people thought was real and still could be, I think. Um, that Iden Versio was supposed to be in season 2.
Oh yeah, I did hear about that. And they were going to have the person that voiced her play her, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, because she looks exactly like how they modeled her face after
Mm-hmm.
the character. So, I mean, it'd be the perfect casting. But I think that would be interesting if you had Iden Versio, Boba Fett, and Ahsoka all in the same room. That would be an interesting. That'd be pretty interesting. But see, we're 35 minutes in, a
Mm-hmm.
little less. I guess if we want to, we can stop talking about Star Wars.
I guess. Last bit of Star Wars news. The Skywalker Saga Lego game comes out in October. I don't know the exact date, but
October. It's like early October, if I
yeah, I
remember.
think it's like October 4th, something like that. Super early.
Yeah, I already said Fallen Order got a pretty big update for May the 4th. Battlefront 2 sadly has come to an end. Um, with its Battle of Scarif update that me and Jalen kind of found a little
Underwhelming.
disappointing.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little disappointing. The Scarif map looks great, and as
yeah.
well as Crate
Heroes versus
looks
villains.
pretty awesome.
Yes, sir.
Looks pretty awesome, but other than that, it was kind of a lackluster ending to a game. I don't know if you've seen the petition that's been going around on Twitter.
Which one?
Have you seen the people have been trying to get the petition going that's almost hit its goal, I believe now, to restart funding for Battlefront 2.
It's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen. They've already moved on to like Battlefield or whatever.
I don't know, man. It's like for Star Wars. It's I really do enjoy the game. The thing is, I feel like there's so much more that can be done. Even if, like, and it doesn't have to be like a lot. Like we don't even need these huge content updates anymore. But even like releasing like one hero a month or something like that, or I think
there's still some stuff I feel like they could have done. Like I'm not asking for maps,
so much, dude. I think we're good on maps. It's just like heroes could have been expanded a lot more.
Could have done something with reinforcements a little bit more.
I feel like Starfighter Assault could have got way more locations.
Yeah, during the end, like during this kind of like ending part, they really just abandoned everything else. They went strictly to Supremacy and
man.
Abandoned like
Galactic
Assault. They abandoned Galactic Assault.
Yes.
Starfighter Assault, Blast, all of those smaller ones, even the bigger ones, they only focused on Supremacy for those final ones and just said, okay, we're done.
Yeah.
Kind of am sad that they didn't do the capital ships.
Mm-hmm.
That was like my favorite part about
man.
Supremacy is like seeing the inside of that, because that was very Star Wars. That was very Star Wars, especially in like the Age of the Republic one.
Mm-hmm.
Is when you go inside and you go inside like the Venator, Star Destroyer, going around there and going through the corridors and then running out of the corridors because Maul's spinning and freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, that game can sometimes be like a horror movie, like,
yeah.
like you'll be like running through and you'll hear like Kenobi and you're like, nope, not going this way.
Yeah, the last game we played together was awesome when we played on Geonosis.
That was pretty fun.
But
But yeah,
I feel
they
like
limited support for that.
I said, I feel like it's way easier looking back and then saying what could have been,
Hmm.
you know.
There has
But the thing is, we've
been,
been saying this for months now. The community's
yeah.
been voicing this for months, years now. So I mean, I don't know. I really
There
like the.
has been a few some talk in EA about making the mall thing easier
Hmm.
because apparently there is some stuff that has been messed up with Darth Maul, like his hitbox is messed up and a lot of things with him are broken. So they're going to be doing, I think, another like patch or something like that.
Hmm.
And with that, there's supposed to be I think a reduced. I think it's supposed to go down to like 1,000. I think it is
Yeah,
like a
that's
thousand
reasonable.
kills with the ball,
I don't know, man.
which is way better than the current 5,000.
That
That is
was off-putting,
ridiculous.
dude. So you would have to play a minimum of 50 co-op games, and that's if you get 100 kills
100 kills
with
each
Maul each
game.
game. That's a
That's
minimum.
that's a lot of ifs because it's like if you get Maul
Hmm.
and if you get 100 kills, then you play 50 games like that
That's a long time,
in
man.
co-op, only in co-op. Then yeah,
Hmm.
that's a lot of games. And that's only if you are able to quickly, as fast as you can, get 4,000 points,
Hmm.
get Maul before anyone else. You know, you're basically challenging 3 other people to get to Maul first.
Put on that officer class.
Yeah, honestly, dude, that was hilarious when they. One of the things in Battlefront they did was they lowered the battle point cost for heroes to like 400.
Hmm.
So me and Jalen both equipped officers. When we spawned in, we immediately did our little boost, and when you boost, you get like 400. You know,
Hmm.
like an average like of like 300, 400 battle points automatically. We
Hmm.
both did it at the same time, got 400, respawned, and we both got in as
We
heroes.
were heroes at not even 30 seconds into
Like
that
that,
game.
that dude, we were like heroes that entire game though. Like
Yeah.
I think because we were the separate, so I think I was playing Maul, you were playing Boss, and
Hmm.
we were just like even like going up on the ship, we were like heroes that entire game. But yeah, no, the game's still fun, I think, but it is kind of sad to see it end.
They left it in a very broken state too. There's a lot of bugs, dude.
Yeah.
But like, I had fun on it. I'm not gonna complain all
Hmm.
that much. So
Uh, there's what was I? There was a rumor that there was supposed to be the next Phone Order game was supposed to be in like 2022,
hmm.
uh, 2022. Yeah. Uh, that was the rumor of the next game is supposed to come out because the guy who's did it, the EA and all of them, uh, they said that they have made a franchise. They've started a franchise with this game, so that will be interesting.
Yeah. I enjoyed Jedi Fallen Order for what it was. So I'm really excited to see them expand on that world as well.
Hmm. You should
But
hop on it with the new update. It's pretty fun.
yeah, I
I
still
don't
haven't
like the
installed.
new stuff.
I tried out the battle arena and stuff like that. It was pretty fun.
Yeah.
I refuse to believe that you can kill your master.
I don't. Yeah, you can't use any like force powers on him. I'm not really sure how you're supposed to beat him.
I refuse to believe that. But we're pushing 40. We're pushing 45 minutes here. So let's move on to some non-Star Wars, more elegant topics. Avatar 2. This movie has been in development for
Too
11
long.
years. 11. Wait, actually more than 11 years because James Cameron started working on Avatar back in the 90s. This,
True.
my God. So Avatar 2 recently got some new set photos. It was just a couple underwater shots. James Cameron and Christopher Nolan are directors I admire a lot because they're really
Hmm.
innovative with how they, film movies. And, granted they're not in the middle of the ocean like he was for the Abyss, but
Yeah.
he is trying to find ways to record these underwater sequences. And I feel like, the one thing I love about Avatar, I can't take this away from it, and I'm not a huge fan of the movie as a whole, but it was a beautiful movie.
It looks great.
Pandora was gorgeous, and so I'm super excited to see these underwater places we visit. And one thing I keep getting in my head whenever I think underwater is Aquaman, and that is by far, I think that movie did underwater the best. I will say. I think that, as far as
What
the
about Jack Sparrow? Or no, what is it? Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Tides, or whatever it is, Stranger
on
Tides.
Stranger Tides.
Yeah, what about them, bro? Remember when they're underwater, but then they're like not underwater, but it still looks like they're underwater?
I haven't seen that movie since 2011. I'm gonna keep it real with you.
Hey man, you need to step your game.
I would watch them if they were all in Disney Plus.
They basically are.
I was missing a few. But I really can't wait to see when, or where this takes place rather. And I feel like Avatar's
do you think
movie.
It's gonna be like an actual sequel. Like it's gonna be like a sequel of those characters.
Yeah.
Or do you think this is gonna be like a?
Yeah, it's supposed to be. There's supposed to be
like
5.
like Fast and the Furious.
There's supposed to be 4 more movies he's making. So yeah, it comes out December 2021. Dude, this movie's it's been in hell for the longest time. This movie was supposed to come out. I think the original release date for this movie was December 2018, and then it was 2019. Then I think they skipped this year. I do think.
Yeah.
And then they just pushed it to 2021. But yeah, every single year starting in 2021, we're going to get an Avatar movie until 2025.
5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean. Like you said, watching it the first time, it's like, wow.
It's eye candy. It really is.
This is a alien planet. What we're watching here, this is an alien world with aliens and things like that. Then you think about it, and you're
dude, the story.
Crap.
I'm telling you, the movie is beautiful. I'm never taking it away from that. It has aged pretty well. That movie came out December of 2009. I remember going to see that in theaters, dude. The thing is, the story is Pocahontas. That's all. That's all the story is.
Worst.
It's like the worst. So generic. It is so generic. There's no substance to it. People.
Why does a mech have a knife? Why don't you give him that
I
mech
don't know.
gun? Like the knife is like in his arm.
It's such a forgettable movie as well. It's such a forgettable film. I ask people. Whenever someone asks me. Or whenever someone tells me Avatar was like their favorite film or like one of the best films of all time, I'm like, yeah, exactly. I'm like, name the main character, and they're speechless, dude. I'm like, come on.
The only reason I know the main character's name is just because I remember laughing every time she would say his name, and he goes, Jake Sully.
Yeah.
Jake Sully.
It's like, is this movie really the best movie if you don't even know the main character's name, And
I'm trying to think of the girl's name. What is it, like
Navi? Not Navi.
No, isn't it? That's the name of the people, isn't it?
Yeah, shit. What is her name?
It's Natiri, isn't it? Like
is
Natiri? Atari?
I don't know. I just know that she's Gamora in in the Guardians movies.
She is.
Zoe Saldana.
Yeah. She's something else as well. I can't remember.
Whoa, Miguel!
Whoa!
Melanin!
Whoa.
Melanin alert! Hello!
We gotta end the podcast here. I'm outnumbered.
Oh my god.
Yeah, sorry.
You're good, buddy.
I was knocked out. I woke up and I was like, "Oh, what time is it?" I was like, "Oh, it's 8:20. Oh crap!"
I'm not getting my paycheck this week.
And then you waited 20 minutes to join. What happened?
Nah, I went back to sleep for a bit.
He said, "What time is it? 8:20? I'm already late."
Yeah, I felt bad. I was like, I might as well join. At least, show up a little bit.
Bet.
Well, speaking of Melanin.
Oh my god. That was just the worst. That was the worst. But go ahead. You're disgusting. Go ahead.
The thing cut out for me, so I didn't hear any of it.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 2 is back.
It's back, baby. Wasn't it
Miles Morales?
So it has a new release date, right? It got its release date.
Yeah. Yeah.
What day? I think they just said 2022. I don't think they gave a date.
2022? Yeah, 2022.
Okay, so it got pushed back.
It was just the spider logo.
It was supposed to come out
2022.
It was supposed to come out July of next year, I believe.
Yeah.
So it got pushed back. Most likely because.
Are you excited for this?
I am personally. I felt like I don't know.
kind of wish this was a Watchmen scenario, to be honest, because I really liked Into the
I
Spider-Verse. I
really
really
like
liked Into the
yeah.
Spider-Verse.
The first one was
But
awesome.
I'm afraid that this one is just gonna be like, where do you go from here? It's like you've already told the perfect story
Yeah, you really
of a
did.
Spider-Man. There's nowhere to go with it.
And it
Because
wrapped
now
up.
all you're doing, because like now all you're doing within this next one is either you're gonna there are two options I feel like you only have is you're either gonna repeat the same story
Just
where
different
it's like
villain.
yeah, different villain with like maybe different spider people,
Mm-hmm.
or it's just gonna be like, you know, Miles Morales doing Spider-Man stuff, and it's like I would love to watch that, but it's not gonna be as good as the first one, and then I'm gonna complain about it.
Yeah.
I think that our approach they could do with it is they have like that villain Morlun, which is like a what's it called, energy vampire, and he hunts down the Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be a pretty cool approach to it for the second one,
I could see that.
or maybe just like I don't know, a third one, like if it does well enough, which it probably will, because you need you need to build it up a lot, and to have like a whole bunch of characters in it.
Mm-hmm.
Next one's live action.
I don't know, man. I really do like the first one, but now that I'm really thinking about it, you know, it wrapped everything up perfectly. You know, all the Spider-Man went back to.
It's the perfect story of a Spider-Man, and it's like there you go. You have his whole like leap of faith moment, and he's like now grown into his Spider-Man-ness. And it's like if you continue the story, you're continuing a story that has already done all it needs to do. To go beyond it is making a new story that is not going to be as good because you're just building on top of stuff.
However, in this new movie, we might get more cameos.
It's true.
Toby,
but there won't be a Stan Lee cameo.
There won't, unfortunately. So it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. But I guess there was Tom Holland was supposed to be in it.
There was rumors that there was like Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire like cut scenes from the original movie.
Yeah.
I personally, I'm excited for this movie.
But
I'm not.
When it comes out, I'm definitely gonna watch 100%. I mean, there's no way I'm not gonna watch.
I'm sorry. The first one is still like one of the best animated movies. Like looking animated.
Yeah.
Well, best animated movie. But as far as like a visual standpoint, I loved how they portrayed a comic book on screen, dude. It was perfect, and I wish I would have saw it in 3D. I really do. But
it is a great.
That movie is great and pretty. I'm gonna have to say that.
It really is.
Yeah.
So
it's like I'm like pretty picky when it comes to like animation styles. Like I don't like Borderlands. I don't like the look of Borderlands. It really just makes my eyes like ugh. With this one, at first I was kind of like adjusting to it, and I was like, wow, this is a lot to like look at. But by the end of it, I was like, wow, it's so good. Like the frame rate with like that kind of like choppy-ish like a almost looking like they panels like flipping panels like really fast. It's like just so good.
In some scenes, I'm really I don't know if because live action films are filmed in they're filmed in a higher frame rate than they're rendered at, but they're premiered in 24 frames per second. I don't know if that the same goes for animated films. I don't know if that's premiered in 24 FPS. However, I know there were some scenes that they legit I watched a documentary on like the making of this film, and they talk about a process they use, and I think it was called like frame splitting or something like that, where they would like cut the frame rate down to like 15 or 10 to make it look more like a comic book, like moving on screen. And I was like,
there's that whole thing. I'm sure they talked about it in that documentary, but there's that whole thing with what they did with Miles compared to all the other Spider-Men, where they made him choppier. Like his frame rate was actually slower than the rest of them. But throughout the movie, he started to, his frame rate started to go up until he matched the other ones, basically showing that he has kind of like mastered his skills, and he's less awkward and clunky. And I was like, that is so beautiful.
It's
like
it's a subtle
that dedication. That dedication is just so good.
It's the subtle details that make that movie 10 times better. It really is.
It's like it's like not when you're like watching and you're like, oh yeah, they've definitely increased the frame rate. It's like you don't watch when you watch it, you don't see that, but it's like when you look at it again and you're like, and like you've heard that now, you're like, oh my god, that makes it even better. But yeah, like I love the first one. The first one's awesome. The second one, I'm excited to watch it. I'm a little anxious, a little nervous, but yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I really didn't think, because Sony made that movie, as we all know. They also made the Emoji movie, and their last couple anime movies and live action films weren't that great. So I really wasn't expecting Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse to be anything special. But they really blew me out of my seat, dude. Blew my expectations above the roof. So
yeah,
I mean, if they can do it once, they can do it again. So I'm hoping that this movie's gonna be as good, if not better, than the first one. Most likely, it won't be. The first one is really a masterpiece in itself. But I have my hopes for this movie are a lot higher than my doubts. That's pretty much where I'm at.
True.
So yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch it. I'm sure it will be good. I just don't think it's gonna be better than the first one.
We'll see. I'm excited. 2022.
Oh, I have something to talk about.
Go for it.
If we're all done with Spider-Man.
We go? You done?
I don't have anything else to say.
All right, go for it.
Okay. So, yesterday, Ubisoft, but more specifically, Xbox, had a reveal trailer, as they said, a gameplay trailer, a very broad sense of the word, if you ask me, a gameplay trailer for Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Never knew gameplay was cinematics. Go ahead, man.
They decided, we're gonna give you, all you viewers, about 10 seconds of cutscenes from the game and call it a gameplay trailer. I was like, I'm so excited because, I'm very hesitant about this game because I've already been wronged once in my life with Odyssey. So I'm excited and nervous and hesitant about this new game. And I see gameplay trailer and I'm like, awesome. I can finally really kind of see what this game is going to be about and see how they're going to do stuff. And what do they show me? 5 seconds of the guy's face, 10 seconds of the things we've basically already seen, and then it going Xbox. And I was like, what the heck was that? And then it's like, everyone in the comments like, was this gameplay? I was like, no, this was not gameplay.
So that whole Xbox, because E3's canceled, and along with every other major, gaming conference for the summer.
Anything?
Yeah, really. Jeff Keighley decided to host this event called Summer Game Fest, where we just get a whole bunch of gaming news that we normally would have gotten during E3 or Gamescom or whatever the case may be. We get it through little online shows, and I believe it was Thursday morning. Xbox hosted their first one. It was called Inside Xbox, and we got a whole bunch to look at when it comes to the third-party games. So it wasn't just about Xbox exclusives, but it was also games that are coming to all the platforms. And a lot of people were really complaining about it, and along with Assassin's Creed, but people were saying how the games themselves didn't look all that impressive, as from a visual standpoint. And these consoles so far have been built up on nothing but power and performance, and people were disappointed with how the demos and the games looked from a visual standpoint. And I was me personally, there was that one game, I forgot what it was called, but it had the DeLorean in the trailer. It was a shooter, and the only real thing I can say that game had going for itself was the dynamic weather effects, But I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I could play that game on my PS4, or I could play that game on a PS5 and think it's a PS4 game. So
yeah.
I mean, obviously, this is with any console generation though, so that's why I'm not freaking out about it like some people are. But I'm
freaking out, man.
You're freaking out. Every console generation at the beginning, the games look significantly worse than later in the generation. That's simply because a lot of these developers are working with a old consoles. They're building their games for PS4 and Xbox One, along with Xbox Series X and PS5. So these games are kind of being held back due to the limitations of the previous generation. That's why whenever you go further into a console's life cycle, you see games start to look better and better and better. Infamous Second Son doesn't compare to God of War, and God of War doesn't compare to Last of Us. All these games have gradually gotten better, although the technology has stayed the same. So I'm not really freaking out a whole lot about it. I think it should be obvious that these games shouldn't look drastically better, considering that they're coming out on the consoles we currently own now. That's just me. So a lot of people are really upset about that.
I'm watching the Valhalla trailer right now. I'm confused. But yeah, I mean, with me, graphics aren't that big of a deal.
Yeah, it's never. I'm way more of a frame rate person, dude. If my game is choppy, I will not play it. If my game is smooth but it only runs at 1080p, listen, I'll take 60 FPS over 4K any day of the week. That's me.
Yeah,
that is me. Yeah,
you want a smooth game, not like a
yeah,
like a really good, like with Fallen Order for me. I honestly don't see that big of a problem. You and Matt have a problem with the graphics. I don't.
Not only the graphics, but the performance itself. It was just a very choppy game.
But yeah, no, I'm not a huge graphics person. I can play whatever as long as I can play without having to like, yeah.
Put on your glasses.
What was it? Oh, we're at 9. If you wanna,
we are.
If we wanna cancel it out, don't remember what I was gonna say now.
You got anything, Miguel? What's your opinion on the next gen consoles?
I just want PlayStation to reveal something.
So they've came out. I think it was earlier this week. They came out and said that their reveal event is gonna. Is it June 9th? Let me double check here. It's sometime in June. June 9th.
They said psych.
So basically around my graduation. That's my gift from them.
Yep. June 9th is when we're going to see the official box. As of right now, hopefully, dude. I feel like that's way too far ahead. If you're going to put up pre-orders in June, I feel like, okay. First off, I feel like they're waiting to see how coronavirus affects. If it's going to be a little bit more long lasting than people are predicting. Which, I mean, I prefer that over Xbox. Xbox is already like, yeah, here's a box, here's the games coming out this holiday, but pre-orders aren't available. Okay.
Yeah.
Sony on the other hand is like, okay, we don't know when this is going to blow over, how the economy is going to be, if people want to buy this when it comes out. So we're just going to take our time, seep out little deets,
Like, I'm not saying, like, force everything onto us. I just want something to be a bit hyped about. Just show me a little bit of something. Get 100%. The hype train going.
Yeah, like, we got games.
100%, man.
Oh, I remember. The news has finally, like, reached the public. Because, like, you had known about it, and then you told me about it. But, like, I guess the news has finally reached the public about Cyberpunk. And the customizable genitalia. Have you seen, like,
the game's rated
memes?
The game's rated AO.
Is it really?
And not in the US as of right now, but in a lot of European countries, it's like it's our equivalent to AO.
Wow.
Like
Peggy 18.
No, Peggy 19.
Peggy 36.
Dude, like this game is supposed to be, and rumor is CD Projekt Red is like, we're not toning anything down. Like, this is our game. So
I don't want them to.
Typically,
if this is the game that they originally, I don't want them to do. Like, I hate when people are like, "You're gonna do this in your game? Why would you do that?" And then they're like, "Well, we toned it down." It's like, no, because if you tone it down, that means you are already going off base of what your original vision was. Don't do that, because then it's gonna suck.
Typically, I really do feel like this game is just gonna be rated M for mature here. Typically, a lot of I
don't. When was the last time I saw a game called that was rated AO?
Manhunt, man, back on PS2.
Yeah, honestly, like a game. I've not seen a game rated AO for a really long time. I guess it's because like no one no one's gonna buy it.
People want to make money.
Yeah.
No, but the U.S. is a lot more lenient than most other countries. So I really, unless this game really goes hard on some
It's
stuff.
supposed to have multiplayer, right?
Yeah. It's supposed to have a lot of stuff. It's supposed to have a lot of stuff, all in first person.
Hey man, it's been what 26 years. I'm ready.
So yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait for the MPAA rating or the ESRB. The ESRB
Jalen,
rating
do
to
you
come
remember
out.
the conversation you, me, someone else, and Mr. What's his name's class talking about this game? Because I remember we had a conversation about this game at one point. I feel like we had a conversation about this game.
We probably have. I mean, I've talked about this game numerous times.
But no, like back at Irons.
Oh, Irons?
God, wasn't it Irons?
Thomas?
I feel like
Cyberpunk.
I didn't know about Cyberpunk till like. Oh no, I must have been at Irons. Yeah.
No, yeah, I think it was because I remember it was you, me, and we were inside what's his name's classroom.
Was it Thomas?
Coach Thomas.
Yeah.
And I think it was like before he had walked in, we were like, "Yeah, there's supposed to be this really cool game that's supposed to like have everything."
We're living it, baby.
It's happening. The future's now, man.
So yeah, I'm excited to see what the ESRB rates it over here in the States, but there's supposed to be first-person graphic sex. There's supposed to be
rated R.
Rumor was
what?
a few months ago. Rumor was that there was gonna be like rape in the game, and Issa Kill, he told me that there was supposed to be like pornographic like material and stuff. Listen. This is rumor and speculation, but there's a reason why this game is rated AO in other countries. That's all I'm saying.
I'm just saying. All I know is that you can make a character look exactly like yourself.
Yep.
So, for the rating thing, instead of having like strong language and stuff, are they gonna have like extreme? Everything is just set to extreme.
Most likely, extreme language,
all
extreme blood and violence.
I'm gonna bang Keanu Reeves.
You're not.
That's the only thing I care
That's where
about.
we're gonna.
Listen.
That's where we're gonna end this. That's where we're gonna end this.
Keanu, if you're listening.
Oh my God, Keanu, run!
It's not like a gay thing. It's just out of respect.
Jake's pretty much saying, "Sugity Susie, he's coming for the booty."
And we're out. That's it. That's it. We're canceled. YouTube just demonetized us. I just got the email. Guys, it was good while it lasted. Fun times. Miguel, glad you're finally awake. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.